bandages and that sturdy look, Mr. Rob might seem a bit cold and standoffish, but he's actually paying attention, quietly noting down what each of us prefers. Bet there's a tender heart ticking away under that metal shell. Makes you wonder, huh?
How about it?
Not bad. Let me be honest with you. I have this. I am Mockingbird.
So it's you. I never thought you'd be so bold.
Relax, my friend. As you know, if I can sneak into such a heavily guarded I'm here with the sincere intention.
And what do you want in return?
Wealth, glory, power. And I'm confident that as the current heir to the Ravenlock family, those are all things you can give me.
Then you've certainly come to the right place. My family is working on a big project. If things come to fruition, Ravenlock's status in Tops will at which point, I'll be sure to leave a spot for you. Naturally, as an outsider, you're precluded from handling any of our core business. But profits from the scraps alone...
Mr. Hartman, I think you've misunderstood me. I have no intention of joining the Ravenlock family. In fact, I have an art gallery under my name that does pretty well. I was hoping you could...
You want to join Tops? That's easier said than done. Even for a family like ours, it would still...
Just answer me yes or no. I don't think
I understand. Yes, but in exchange, you'll have...
I'm sorry, but I'm afraid I can't. I've already... You don't want to put all your chips on the table when dealing with Tops. I know that
Then that means I also need to keep an eye out when working with the infamous Mockingbird, right?
Mr. Hartman, I should remind you that I stand before you undisguised. Coming from a phantom thief, if I betray you, then you merely need to lift a finger to wipe...
You do make a valid point there. In that case, you have a deal.
I appreciate...
Why don't we celebrate our new partnership with... Having a drink before undertaking anything important is a family tradition.
As an outsider, it's...
By the way, you aren't the only member of your organization, are you? Shouldn't...
You don't have to worry about that. I'll make sure she agrees.
Seems you'll do whatever it takes to get things done. Great things lie ahead for someone like you. All right, let's leave it at that for today. I'll contact you about...
That's him! He's the one who killed Serena!
She was the only one who was ever any good to him, right? That's how he repays her?
That's why they say once a mongrel, always a mongrel. Just look into his... Father! We have to punish...
Serena had been ranking ahead of him. Hugo must have poisoned her water so he could pass her.
Pure evil. Typical for an impure bloodline. He should have been kicked out
Hugo, did you do...
Yes, it was...
He admitted it! Father, he must...
He has no right to live under the same roof as that...
Why don't we reunite him with Serena, then? Nobody would ever know.
Hugo? Well done. My children, how many times in this world only the most ruthless, cruel, and unscrupulous of people, like Hugo here, who is willing to murder his only true loved one without only someone with the means and the gumption to do that, is qualified.
But...
It's all over now, and the results are obvious. The winner of this as for the rest of you, go to the usual place for the punishment.
Father! Before this, I was number one.
As I've told you before, there's only room for one winner in this family. You're still a loser, even if it's by the smallest margin. This is all for your own good. Do you understand? Go on now. Receive your punishment for the sake...
Yes, I understand.
Soon.
Thank you for escorting me here, Proxy. Today, you're a child that only brings misfortune. People have been saying that about me for a long time. Why do I only predict suffering? If I could predict happy things, joyful things, would people like me a little more? Maybe fate truly is set in stone. Often, I want to help these people avoid their miserable fates. For a time, I even thought that I was successful, that I could change people's destiny. But it was all an illusion. In the end, I couldn't do anything at all. So, I was really happy when you said that my abilities weren't a curse, but a gift. Thank you, Proxy. I'm so glad to have met you. And you're also a fan of Lord Phaethon. It's like we were fated to meet. I don't know why, but I feel completely at ease when I'm by your side. I feel like I'm free from judgment, from blame. Like, I don't need to worry about anything, and can just be my own true self. Perhaps people really do possess an aura, and ours just so happen to be extremely compatible. By the way, you asked me before about Hugo. I don't really know much about him. He rarely ever talks about his past. But judging from his eye colors, you can guess he's probably the bastard son of a renowned family. I think his mother was very worried about his different colored eyes, and even wanted to get rid of him at one point. But then his family offered a huge price and bought him off his mother for some reason. And just like that, he moved from a leaky and drafty boarding room to a luxurious mansion. But he's also mentioned that the extravagant home is actually like hell for him. I think it's probably because the family treats him terribly. I digress. He ran away and ended up meeting Lycon and his master. After that, they formed Mockingbird together and experienced a rare period of happiness. Until Lycon's betrayal.
So, what's your take on Hugo?
I imagine I would still be wandering around now if I had never met him. To me, Hugo is just like an older brother. I've always felt as though he's carrying some heavy burden with him. But that's a secret he's kept to himself. Something he'll never tell me. Sometimes when I look into his eyes, I can feel that he's really struggling with something. Even though he may say some extreme things, Hugo really isn't a bad person. I think one day he'll tell me his secret. Until then, I just have to wait. Wait and trust him. It appears we're the first to arrive. I thought we were running late. This might sound weird, but it's nice to think about getting to work with you from now on. I don't really know why that makes me feel so happy. Oh, it's because we're fellow fans! Anyone who likes Lord Phaethon can't be a bad guy.
You're right.
Of course, Lord Phaethon is the greatest there will ever be, but you're definitely the best proxy I've ever met in person. Hugo told me before that you're really skilled, and he said we'd get along great. I never expected he'd be so right. Oh, by the way, would you like to come by my place if you have time later? I have a huge collection of Lord Phaethon merch.
Phaethon, Lord Phaethon doesn't have any merch out there, right? I mean, we don't even know what he looks like, for starters.
It's all my own original merch, like screenshots of old Internet comments. I print them out and turn them into postcards. Plus the avatars Lord Phaethon's used, the music playlists they recommend. I've organized it all. I'd love to show it all to you if we get the chance.
Well, I appreciate the thought.
Speaking of which, what's taking those two so long? Hugo said he had some preparations to do before entering the Hollow. I wonder how that's coming along.
This is getting to be more than just a coincidence, don't you think? Or perhaps you are actually stalking me.
If I was stalking you, you wouldn't ever know.
Overconfident as always. You haven't changed at all.
We just make it a habit to check the state of our weapons prior to combat.
Thanks for that little reminder. I almost forgot.
I didn't expect you to let me join.
What else could I do? Master Proxy would have insisted on having you join us. I never expected for us to have a chance to enjoy some pleasant conversation like this. Without our weapons drawn, that is. It really has been too long. I still remember when we first established Mockingbird.
Indeed. That was a long time ago. Thankfully, Jack went in peace.
He must have known about his condition for some time. He even left us with instructions. Passing peacefully in your sleep is the most natural way to go. I'm happy for him. By the way, Lycon, have you given it any thought yet?
You mean about our guild for Phantom Thieves?
Yeah. It's time for us to build an organization of our own. Jack always supported the idea, didn't he?
I don't have any objections. But what should we call it then?
How about Mockingbird? It's a bird known for mimicking the calls of others to blend in. The same way we don high society roles for ourselves when we're out on a mission. Oh, oops. I nearly forgot. You're a terrible actor, and you're always flubbing your lines. I guess we can rule out that name then.
No, call it Mockingbird. We're always just putting on an act, aren't we? I won't slip up on our next mission. Besides, we still ran missions together even when we didn't have a name. Having one now won't really make a difference.
No. It does make a difference, Lycon. And I don't just want a name. I want Mockingbird to become a symbol, like the sword of Damocles hanging over everyone's heads, striking fear into the hearts of the rich and cruel whenever they hear the name. Just like Jack used to say, this world isn't fair. So that's why we have to influence it however we can, and change things in our own way.
But on the basis of not causing harm to other people's lives. That's also what Jack used to say. You remember, don't you?
Of course I remember. All right, I promise.
That sounded pretty forced. Don't forget, things don't end well for people who break their oaths.
I'm good for my word. You must trust your fellow companions. That's also something Jack would say. Well then, today's the day that Mockingbird will officially start flying. Our first order of business, deciding on our symbol.
I didn't expect the coordinates in Bringer's notes to lead here.